Next one, we're going to introduce you the PNF. The probability mass function of x. If x follow binomial distribution with n pi. Okay? Now, this is a formula. Probability that x equal to k is equal to n choose k pi to the power k, and then 1 minus pi to the power of n minus k. This one tells us how likely or how often we see what? Possible value. And what are the possible value? Possible value for k is equal to 0, 1, 2, all the way up to n. Okay, this tells us what are the possible values. Okay, this tells us what are the possible values. So far, so good? For example, when I flip a fail coin 3 times, okay? In this case, if I'm interested in x, x is a number of heads resulting. Okay, so possible value of x. If I only flip the fail coin 3 times, I can either see no heads, which is 0, x equal to 0, or I see 1 head, or I see 2 heads, or I see 3 heads. Okay? But how likely I see no heads? Probability I see what? No heads means I see 3 tails. And that is what? Tail, tail, tail. I see 3 tails in a row. But how likely I see a tail? The chance is what? 1 over 2. Here, the chance is also 1 over 2. Here is also 1 over 2. So 1 over 2 to the power 3. So it's 1 over 2 to the power 3. But another way to see it is from 3 flips, I choose what? No flips. 0 flip of what? Getting heads. Okay? From 3 flips, I choose what? No flips to get heads. And how likely I get a head? Chance is 50% because it's a fail coin. But how many times I see heads? I see 0 heads. Okay? That means how many times I see tail? I see 3 tails. But chance of getting tail is what? 1 over 2. Okay? If I use the notation to specify this, in our case, n is what? N is 3. Okay? N is 3. And number of heads is what? 0. This is k equal to 0. Okay? And then the probability of getting heads is what? Is pi. How many heads? 0 heads. What's pi? For fail coin, pi equal to what? 50%, right? And how many times we see tail? 1 minus pi. How many times? 3 times. And 1 minus pi is the probability of getting what? Probability of getting tails. Is that clear? So let's look at here. N choose 0. N is 3. 3 choose 0. Pi to the power 0. 1 minus pi to the power 3. 3 choose 0 is just 1. Pi to the power 0 is 1. 1 minus pi to the power 3. Pi is what? Pi is 1 over 2 to the power 3. That is 1 over 2 to the power 3, which is what? Which is 1 over 8. Okay? That's exactly what we expect to see here. Okay? Now, let's do one more so you can familiar with the formula. Now, probability x equal to 1 is, in our example, 3 choose 1, pi to the power 1, 1 minus pi to the power 1, 3 minus 1. That means we get 2 tails. 3 choose 1, the formula is, recall. Recall the combination formula. N choose k is n factorial over what? Over n minus k factorial. And then divided by k factorial. And what's n factorial? This is n factorial. For example, what is 3 factorial? 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1. Okay? And we also define 0 factorial is what? Is 1. And 1 factorial, of course, equal to 1. Okay? This is something we covered before. Or you learn it from high school. Okay? So 3 choose 1 is 3 factorial over 3 minus 1 factorial. And then over 1 factorial. Pi in our case is 1 over 2. Because it's the fail coin to the power 1, and this is 1 minus what? 1 minus 1 over 2 to the power 2. So this one is 3 factorial, 3 times 2 times 1, over 2 factorial, 2 times 1. 1 factorial is 1 times 1. So after cancellation of the common factor, okay? This is 1 over 2. This is 1 over 2 to the power 2, which is 1 over 4. Okay? So this one is 3 over what? 3 over 8. Okay? Now next one. When x equal to 2, when x equal to 2, the formula says 3 choose 2. From 3 free, we choose 2 free and assign heads. And then pi to the power 2. 1 minus pi to the power 3 minus 2. 3 choose 2. 3 factorial over what? 2 factorial and 1 factorial. Pi squared, 1 over 2 squared. 1 minus pi, which is 1/2, to the power 1. So this one is 3 times what? 1 over 8. So this is also 3 over 8. And let's look at how likely we see what? 3 heads in a row. This is head, head, head. 3 heads in a row, okay? How likely we see 3 heads in a row? By applying our formula, okay? It's 3 choose 3, pi to the power 3, 1 minus pi to the power what? 3 minus 3. So 3 choose 3 is 1. Pi to the power 3 is pi to the power 3. 1 minus pi to the power of what? 0 is 1. So this is pi to the power 3. In our case, pi is 1/2. To the power 3 is 1 over 8. So look at here. Possible value of x, when I flip a fail coin 3 times, I can see no heads, that means 3 tails, or 1 head, that means 2 tails. 2 heads, that means 1 tail. Or all 3 are heads, that means no tail. Okay? And how likely we see them? I just summarize what we get. X equal to 0, probability x equal to 0 is 1 over 8. Probability x equal to 1 is what? 3 over 8. And this is 3 over 8. And this is 1 over 8. Okay? So these are the possible values. And these are what? How likely? How likely or how often we see them. Okay?